Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're going to be doing a bit of non-traditional coloring, and what I mean by that is we're not going to be coloring the objects in their like standard colors. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to be using the MFT Holiday Penguin stamp set. And I will probably use the tree and then maybe these two penguins here that look like they're dancing. So I'll get started with the stamping first. And I'm just going to use up some scrap paper that I have. I like to keep scraps off to the side of my desk here, and then I can just grab them as I need them. These ones came from another card I was working on. I'll stamp and color these two guys first, and then I'll do the tree after. Okay, so for now, I think I'm going to color these guys in maybe pinks and purples. I think I'm going to do a white, pink, and purple card for today. So I'm just going to pull out my swatches for my markers. Like I've said before, I don't use any one specific brand. I have Copic Chow markers, I have dollar store markers, I have Prismacolors that I bought like 10 years ago when I was in school. I have these Celamoon, I think it's called. Yeah, from Amazon. This was like a skin tone set. And then I have these biannual ones also from Amazon. They were only like $60 for a set of 70 something. And then I just made up these like little swatch cards for them, and I just wrote down the numbers. I'm probably going to redo these at some point, but I did do them on the cardstock that I normally color on, which is the Hammermill I think it's 110 pound 100% white cardstock. I'll link it down in the description below like I always do, but I just find it handy to pick colors out of existing markers. I'm trying to use up the dollar store and the Prismacolors first, but I don't. This pink is pretty cute. So usually as I get through colors, I'll just kind of like cross them out. Like I don't have this pink anymore, and this, I know this navy one's getting a little low, and I don't want to use maybe the number 10's okay. So I'll color this little guy in the pink. And then for the shading, I'm probably gonna have to pull a marker from my biannual set because I don't have another pink that's close to this in the Prismacolors for sure. I just mix and match my markers. I don't use like specifically only the Prismacolors or only the biannual ones. I use what I have, which I've mentioned before. None of these colors are fantastic either, but I'm going to use the R213, and I'm going to use a pick from Amy R, and I'm just going to scribble a little bit onto my acrylic block and then pick it up with this marker, and then just kind of like shade with it that way. I find this is a better technique than like touching the tips of the markers together, just because you then don't have to sit here and try to soak up the color. Like you can just pick it up as you need it. It's much easier. And then I think for the hat, maybe I'll do maybe this darker pink just straight up, instead of doing it like a red or a green. I need a bit of a darker shade though. And if you only have one marker, it's okay to like build up the layers with this, you just want to make sure it kind of like dries a bit between layers, because if you just keep layering it, it's just gonna soak into the paper together and it won't look as good. It'll just kind of like smooth out. So what I did here was I did a layer and then I shaded it and then I shaded it again. The thing about alcohol markers is that they are translucent, so it kind of like just builds up color every time you layer it, which is great. And then I'm just gonna use this orange color for his nose and feet, beak and feet. And then I don't usually add too much shading to that just because it is like a small area. I'm gonna see if I can just darken this up. Okay, I think that looks a bit better. I just added the lighter pink on top to help even the tone out. This one is a little bit more on the yellow side compared to this one. This one's a bit more purpley. So trick, if you just want to change the color, just like add another color on top of it, and you can test to see like what kind of color comes out of it. So I'll show you. So this is my darker, more like purpley pink, and then this is the lighter pink that I'm using, which is more yellow, and then we'll just take that lighter pink and then layer it up. So now this, with the overlay, becomes more of the yellow tone instead of the purple, but it still has like that darker shade to it. But it just makes it a little bit more cohesive when you do it this way. And I'm gonna use some cool grays for the shading on the hat. So I usually just kind of like flick a little color from each side and then do the bottom of the pom-pom. My light source is kind of top left down is what I normally do. It's not 100% accurate or always the case, but I'm not here for perfection. I'm here to color because I enjoy it. And no one's going to be judging your light source when you give them the card. So to the body, I'm going to add a bit of warm gray 1. And for this marker, it is a little bit more on like a creamy taupe side. And I'm just going to add a bit to the bottom, under his arm, and maybe the belly here just to accentuate this leg. Under his chin. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and kind of blend it out a bit. I'm going to probably add a bit here too. And then blend that out. And then you want to do the same for the face. So I would do a bit here, maybe. And then here. And then again, blend it out. And then if you want to add a bit more shadow under the chin, you can add the next gray, which is, I'm just going to use a warm gray 2 just for here and here to show that it's kind of overshadowed by another layer in a sense, whereas this one's just shadowed to show contour. Okay, and I'm actually going to even add a bit of pink to the nose and feet, just to help again with the tone and make it a bit more cohesive. That's pretty cute. And then this one I will do in purples. I'll keep the grays out and I'll do my orange first. Again, we'll use the cool grays on the fur. I like to use cool grays on the furs usually for any like Santa or like elf or whatever, like these kinds of hat images. And then I'll usually use the warm grays for either Santa's beard or like the penguin here. And I'm just gonna use the purple over this orange as well, just a little bit to again help with the matching tone of the image. And then I keep going a little bit out of the lines here. So. Okay, and then I'm gonna re-stamp these now. And it looks like it's very, very slightly off, so I think I just makes the lines a bit thicker. I'll just leave this one. This one's okay. Sometimes if you don't make sure the paper is in the corner and you go to stamp it, sometimes it can be like a lot more off. This one's to me within an acceptable range. Like you can kind of see that the lines on this one are a tiny bit thicker, but I'm okay with that. And now I'm gonna do the tree. And I love this tree image. I've used it for so many cards already, and I'll be using it for more soon, as you'll see. And for this, instead of the stamping and coloring the tree, either a shade of green or teal is what I've also done in the past. This time I'm going to leave the tree white, and I'm going to shade it with some cool grays. So I think I'll start with 2, and I'm just gonna like kind of flick it out under like the layers. Like you can kind of see where there's like overlapping layers here, so I'm just kind of imagining them going a bit across like this, and then like this. So this one, it's only like showing in the middle, but I'm just gonna kind of continue flaring it out from there, and I'm gonna go under each of these bulbs. And then we'll go with a little bit of a darker marker after, but for now we're just gonna use the cool gray 2. And then I'm gonna grab, this is cool gray 2, so I'm gonna grab cool gray 4 and just go underneath the ornaments here just to give them a little bit more depth and shadow. And then I think I'll leave that, and I think for the ornaments we'll do them in the same base pink and purple. So I'll use this and this. And the pink guy is probably gonna go on this side, so I don't want to have like too many big ones on this side with the pink, so I will do a little bit more on that side. And I'll do the rest on the purple. And then I'll let that dry a little bit while I do the tree trunk. And the tree trunk I'll just do gray, cool gray 4. And then we'll just very, very lightly, like barely touch your paper when you're doing like a texture for bark. I just kind of like drag it, but like barely touching the paper, let it like let it jump a little bit. It doesn't need to be a solid line. And then we'll just solid color in the cool gray 2, and this will just help blend those lines out as well. but they're still there for texture. And then I will go in on these and just add like a bit of a swoop at the bottom left for my shadow. And then after we'll add a white highlight. Okay, that's the coloring for that card done. So I'm gonna go over to my cutting machine and cut these all out. I'll be right back. So maybe we can have this little guy like popping out of the tree at the back here, and then maybe we can have this guy putting up this purple ornament, and I think I'm gonna put a circle behind them or something, and just leave it on a plain white. So I'll get my card base, and I think for the circle, maybe we should do it in like a darker gray. Okay, so I just cut out a circle with one of the dies from another set that I have. And I think I might have to put it this way. Maybe we can make it like a halo around the tree and then have these guys pop out. Like that. And then maybe I'll put some like gems around it. I don't think I'm gonna put a sentiment on the front of this. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. Use my clear Stardust pen and just add some little controlled sparkle, and then I think I'm going to add some glossy accents to the ornaments. Okay, and then once those dry, they'll be like a bit dimensional and glossy. So if you haven't already, give some non-traditional coloring a try. It's pretty fun. It gives it a different look. Penguins don't always have to be black. I've been coloring my navy this season, which I love, but like the pink and purple look cute too. This is a very simple card, and coloring the tree in with just a bit of shading was also very easy, a little less work. So this idea here is also good for quick and simple cards. If you don't want to do a ton of coloring, you could also just leave it white. You don't have to add the shading, and maybe you just color in the trunk and the ornaments, but I think adding a little bit of shading helps give that little bit of dimension that it needs. But thanks again for joining me this week, guys. I will see you again next week for another video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.